this eighth night of Chalica, we have our eighth principle. We affirm and promote journeying toward spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community, by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. Beloved community is something that we aspire to be building a space where love and compassion are normal. Beloved community is a term used by theologians Josiah Royce, Howard Thurman, Dr. King. And they got at this notion of a love ethic, agapeism, as Pastor Howard Thurman used to say. A place where the barriers to connection are removed, are torn down, a place where fears and anxieties and prejudices and doctrines separate us. Those separations to be torn down. Beloved community is a place where our journeys intersect. We actualize with our neighbors and our siblings. It takes us looking at our own identities, our own privileges. It takes us looking at systemic racism and systemic sexism, the ways that institutions and individuals can understand and use gender and sexuality, both divisively and hurtfully. And beloved community takes us to that point where all of those divisions can turn into healing. Yale professor Daniel Hosang said, if we want to address racism in our society at large, we have to address it by policing and housing and healthcare, but we also need to address it in the 3rd grade music classroom and in the 7th grade social studies classroom. And so on this 8th night of Chalica, we affirm and promote journeying toward spiritual wholeness by building beloved community in our actions, where we can dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and others, and we start perhaps with our families. One thing to do with our families, with our kids and our parents and our grandparents and our spouses and our siblings, we could read a book. We could read many things. Historic texts like The Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois, or modern ones like So You Want to Talk About Race by Ujoma Owu, or How to Be an Anti-Racism by Ibram X. Kendi, or his children's book, The Anti-Racist Baby. Another thing to do is to have conversations on empathy, to talk with our family about how we feel and exploring what it might mean and what biases we might have. Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote, racism is not merely a simplistic hatred. It is more often broad sympathy towards some and broader skepticism toward others. We can ask ourselves, with the people we know and the people we love, these sorts of questions, questioning about our sympathy and our biases, how to find ways to cultivate empathy with them, to connect our emotional experience with another's, to find commonalities. It's heavy work, and it takes some vulnerability, but these are the steps towards beloved community. On this 8th night of Chalica, I pray that we build beloved community by starting with ourselves, and I pray peace upon you and yours.